Hey friends, Randy Flickinger here again. Thank you for all the views and the comments and the followings. All that's awesome. Bottom line is, I hope you're learning and growing in your faith, that you're pursuing Jesus Christ in your life, because that's the bottom line. It isn't about us, it's about Him. And so I am thrilled to share these stories and these messages and these teachings. Share them with your friends, save them as your favorites, and use them in whatever way you see fit that would benefit the kingdom, okay? Let's talk a little bit about your friends. You know, one of the things I just heard from a pastor at my church, Pastor Jonathan Hoover, New Spring Church, Wichita, Kansas. He said, show me your friends and I will tell you where your life is headed. Did you hear that? Show me your friends and I'll tell you where you're headed. Now you may say, well, now wait a minute. I have friends, but I don't do all the things that they do. I don't say, I don't act. Bottom line is, it becomes very difficult for us to hang around people that don't act the way we end up acting, don't act the way we should act. I'm a substitute teacher at a couple Christian academies. Good kids, wonderful young people. But one of the things I see is the influence people's friends have on their actions. They can be good. They can uplift them. They can help them to study harder. They can encourage them to play harder. They can do all kinds of great things for them. Or they can be bad decisions, bad choices. You start to change your values. You change your attitudes. You don't mature like you should. And this isn't just for kids. This is for adults, with coworkers, with friends, with people we hang out with. Those are all things that we got to learn to do. I've learned for students and adults that who you associate with will likely become who you are and how you act. Did you hear that? Who you hang with is what you're going to become, what you're going to act like. Old sayings like birds of a feather flock together or like draws to like are all examples of that truth, that timeless truth. My personal favorite from a secretary of mine, Brenda Cousins, she used to always say, if you go to the barbershop enough, eventually you're going to get your hair cut. In other words, if you hang out with people who do bad things, eventually you're going to fall prey. You're not going to be able to be strong enough. And I know some of you say, no, I can be strong. But let's hear what the Bible has to say. Proverbs 18:24. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. That's Jesus. But he's also saying you can have a ton of friends, but what you're going to find is a lot of superficial friends aren't near as valuable as one or two loyal, truthful, same equal value friends. Those that will tell you the truth, not what you want to hear. Those that will support you and back you and strengthen you for good, not take you down the wrong paths. Proverbs 27:9, perfume and incense brings joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. See, even the Bible's telling you the advice you get from a good friend is great. It's the problems we get from those that aren't. Ecclesiastes 4:10, if either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. If you don't have good friends around you, you're going to struggle. He wants us to have good friends. That's part of why he wants us to go to church. You have that camaraderie within a church of strength, of support, and hopefully same values, ethics, lifestyles. Not always, but in general, that's the hope. And finally, Thessalonians 5:11, easy for me to say, right? Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. And so he was telling the church at Thessalonica that they were doing a great job. Boy, I'm having trouble speaking today. So here are 4 questions to ask yourself about your friends and relationships. Number 1, do they listen to teachers, to wise adults, their parents, to you? Or are they bound and determined to go their own way, to prove that they can, to be rebellious and to make a bad decision? Those who truly will not listen are doomed to make bad decisions. Number 2, what do they say? What's their language? How's their attitude? Those things matter. If their language and attitude are great indicators of where we are headed. Number 3, how do they treat others? Oh my gosh, their parents, co-workers, siblings, other friends. It's critical. It's only a matter of time before their disregard for others gets aimed at you. And then you are on the bad side of those friends. And the 4th thing, number 4, where do they go? Any idea the number of bad things that happens to people because they get into places they shouldn't be? I was in this bar. I was at this fight. I was in this store when so-and-so was shoplifting stuff. You may not plan on being involved, but you're there, and that's what happens. It happens with drugs. It happens with alcohol. It happens with violence. They're all things that are not good. Now, I know you're thinking, no, I'm strong. I won't go down. I'm going to drag them away from that. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't work. You know how many girls and women are bound and determined to go after the bad boy because they can change him? Doesn't work very well. Doesn't work hardly ever. They have to be willing to change. Same with your friends, okay? Only the strongest can resist the temptations and failings of hanging around with the wrong crowd. And frankly, if we're real and if we're honest, most of us aren't strong enough. We have to learn. We have to trust God, and we have to recognize that we need friends, just like he told us in those verses. But they have to be the right type of friends, those that will build us up and strengthen us, not take us down. So evaluate your friends and your relationships and be real about it. Are the problems in your life being caused or increased by your choice of friends? Or are they being helped and prevented? Because if they're not, you need to take a look at your whole card, make better friend decisions, relationship decisions, and do the right thing. Be real with yourself. It will help you to do better in your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again later.